The habitual tense is very important for you to use to talk about habits or what things you usually do. For example, eating. Eating is a habit. Okay? Hujambo na karibu. Karibu tena katika ufalme wa Kiswahili. Kama jamii tunasaidiana kukikuza na kukiimarisha Kiswahili chetu, kwa sababu tunaamini experts were once beginners. Nawe pia uko njiani kuwa mmoja wetu kuongea Kiswahili kama mwenyeji. Kwa hiyo nakusihi subscribe hapo chini ili uwe mmoja wetu, ujiunge na hii jamii ya Swahili Kingdom. Asante sana kwa kusikiliza. Hi everyone, my name is Connie. I speak 6 languages and today we are going to learn something in Swahili. Today we are going to learn about the 5 important tenses that you need to know in Swahili for you to start communicating eloquently, fluently. Okay, the 5 most important tenses that you need in Swahili. Okay, so I'm going to start by telling you how many tenses we have in Swahili. Roughly, we have about 12 tenses in Swahili. Roughly, we have about 12 tenses in Swahili. So it is not approximate. That's why I'm saying roughly. We have about 12 tenses in Swahili. Just to name a few, you have the present, past, future, habitual, present perfect, future perfect, past perfect, conditional, that's a mood. We have imperative mood. Like, we have quite a lot of tenses. But if you are a beginner, where do you start? Or if you want to start speaking and you want to master the 5 tenses in Swahili that can help you speak, where do you start? That's where I come in, and this video is going to be really helpful. I hope so. Okay, so I am going to talk about the 5 important tenses, or the tenses that you need to know for you to start speaking. We have present tense, perfect tense, present tense, past tense, present perfect tense, future tense, and habitual tense. Those are the 5 tenses that we are going to talk about. Let's start with the present tense. The present tense, just as in English, talks about things that you are doing right now. The present. Things that you are doing right now. That is the present tense. An example, I can say, ninaongea. I am speaking. First of all, how is the present tense formed? Swahili tenses are formed with prefixes, infixes, suffixes. Okay, what is a prefix? A prefix is a syllable that is put in front of a word. An infix is a syllable that is put in between a word. A suffix is a syllable that is put at the end of a word. And those 3 are generally called affixes. Okay, so sentences in Swahili start with a prefix, which is a personal pronoun. A personal pronoun prefix. And then the infix is the tense marker. And then the suffix is the verb without the infinitive ku. That's why I said ninaongea. I am speaking. Ninaongea. If you want to see more about the present tense, go watch the video that will be suggested here. The present tense. Okay? The present tense is very important for you to know, for you to be able to talk about something that you are doing in the now. The second tense is the present perfect tense. The present perfect tense is the same as in English. For example, I have spoken. I have spoken. That's how you say in English. But in Swahili is a bit simpler, where you just use the infix me to change the tense of the phrase. For example, I said ninaongea, I am speaking. In the present perfect tense, it's going to be nimeongea. I have spoken. Nimeongea. Nimeongea. I have spoken. The present perfect tense is quite important for you to speak about daily activities or things that have just been in the immediate past. The next tense that we have is the past tense. Past tense. What is the past tense? The past tense is basically talking about the past events that happened. and it uses the li infix to show the tense. Li is the infix that shows the tense of the past tense. For example, in English, I'll say I spoke. I spoke. In Swahili, we are going to say niliongea. Niliongea. Ni, mi, li, past tense, ongea, speak. Niliongea. I spoke. That is the past tense. It is very important for you to know it, for you to be able to speak about past events that have happened in your life. Okay? And in Swahili, you can use the past tense to speak even about very past events that passed in your life. Okay? It's not like, for example, in the Spanish tense, we have the preterite, the preterite, preterito, preterito, that tense, preterite, which talks about the immediate past. Okay, like the one I said, I spoke, the immediate past. And then we have the one that really talks about the past that you cannot mention the time, which is, I'm forgetting his name, but you can say, for example, if you want to speak, to say I spoke, but you don't know the specific time in Spanish, you'll say, the Spanish tense of speak is hablar. So if you want to say I spoke, hablia. Okay, let me use tener. If you want to say I had, you'll say tenía. Tenía un gato. I had a cat. But you are not specifying the exact time that happened. Okay, so Spanish has different past tenses, different future tenses, but Swahili has one past tense, which is li. Okay, and then we are going to go to the next tense, which is the habitual tense. The habitual tense is very important for you to use to talk about habits or what things you usually do. For example, eating. Eating is a habit. Okay? For example, taking a shower, brushing your teeth, or maybe if you have a habit of visiting your friend every Saturday, you're going to use the habitual tense. The habitual tense usually uses who prefix. Who prefix. So for example, if I want to say I usually speak, I will say mimi huongea. Mimi huongea. If I want to say you usually speak, I'll say wewe huongea. Wewe huongea. So, as you can note in these two sentences, they are the same. Huongea, huongea. The only different thing is mimi and wewe. So that means when you are talking about a habitual tense, or when you are using a habitual tense sentence, you need to have the pronouns all the time. You need to say mimi, you need to say wewe, yeye, sisi, nyinyi, wao. You need to have those pronouns all the time, because all of those things use who, huongea, hucheza, hukula, hununua. Okay, they use who. So without mentioning the pronoun, I might not know what you are talking about, or the listener might not know what you are talking about, or who you are talking about. Okay, and then the last tense that we are going to learn is future tense. The future tense in Swahili. The future tense uses the infix ta. The infix ta. For example, I will speak. In Swahili you say nitaongea. Nitaongea. I will speak. The future tense in Swahili has only one future tense, but of course we have the conditional mood, which has ways of telling it in the future. Okay, for example, things that you could what you would want to do in the future, yeah, you can use the conditional mood. But we are learning about the 5 important tenses. The future tense, nitaongea, I will speak. So those are the 5 most important tenses that can help you to start speaking in Swahili. Or if you are a beginner, focus on those 5 tenses first before you go to other things. You will be able to read a lot of things, you will be able to write, you will be able to understand, okay, because of those 5 simple tenses in Swahili. They are used every day, they are very important. Yeah, you need to know them first before you go any other routes you go to any other roots in Swahili. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have learned something. Kindly subscribe down below, like this video, share with your friend who is learning Swahili and you think this video might be important to that friend of yours, or someone who wants to learn Swahili. Share it with them. Okay, and if you liked this video and you like to support me financially, there is a link down in the description box below. Click that link and buy me a coffee from there. Thank you so much for doing that, and you can join me in my newsletter. The link is also down below. And the video that I recommend you to go and watch after this video is the Swahili Now classes, which I always say that Swahili Now classes are the backbone. Swahili Now classes is the backbone of Swahili. When you know Swahili Now classes, you will be knowing at least 80% of Swahili. Okay, because a lot of things in Swahili must use Swahili Noun classes. Even in sentences, you are going to need to use the Swahili Noun classes. Go watch that video to know how you can use Swahili Noun classes and know some of the most common Swahili Noun classes and most important. I have mentioned 5 in that video. I'll see you in that video. Bye. Kwaheri.